So
I'm thinking
Planet
soon,
X
like May.
Scott
Like, well, we in May
is
now.
trying to get
End of May,
together
June. We definitely want to
in
plan it. Well,
America.
Scott, you don't know that
On a hike.
part of me and Josh's
I got kicked out
one of
again.
our
Got hacked to my
what's the
phone.
word I'm looking for? I don't know. One of our things that we've been called to do is to go to certain energy. Our journey is to go to certain energy points, and we've been to Pilot Mountain is the center of one of these huge energy wheels, and that's where we were talking about that when I put that video up.
Yes, on
But
Planet X News.
we have been to
hacked.
many of these sites, and we feel like, just as you said, just us being there in person, our combined energy
or fake reality
is making a difference. We don't know why, how, we don't understand why we've been called to do it. And Seven also, because Seven's been called to Serpent Mountain many times. Serpent Mountain is one of the points on that wheel.
Interesting subjects, but
it's
look
just
at
funny
that
to hear you say that from a different aspect, because we've been doing it for a few years now.
First time I have seen
the adding of new energy to these, I think, is going to be key. And we've already said, like, at each of the points, we'd like to draw someone in that's around that area to add to the energy. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that'd definitely be an experience, because I've been wanting to, kind of elaborate more on it, and but it's only me.
That's why I asked it today.
Right. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, not anymore.
Yeah, it's like nobody, absolutely nobody that I know
dominating the show.
Anywhere associated with me, anywhere around here, nobody. Period. Like I said, I can't even talk to anybody about it. Listen, I'll be honest. I can't even talk to Dr. Elbers about it.
His wife.
Because she's not there.
Yeah, and that's okay. Everyone has their own. And we're not saying that what we're doing is any better than what anyone else is doing or where they're at. It's just where we're at. It's
you want to hear something. You want to hear something freakish?
Yeah.
I'm constantly sitting down.
Something about his body language. He seems like genuine. She does, but his body language, and I can't see his.
Talking to her about it, we'll be sitting across the table eating, and I'll start to mention some of these things, and or this or that, and all of a sudden she'll start holding her head, like you put your hand over your each side of your temple, and she'll her head will kind of sag a little bit, and I'll say, Claudia, are you listening to me? And she'll say, yes, I'm listening to you. And I'm like, well, what do you do? Why is your head so heavy? Why can't you hold your head up? And
it's the technology doing
I asked her why she was doing that. It was like constant.
His hands.
And she says, I don't know, Scott. She goes, anymore, whenever you talk to me, she said, it just scrambles my brain. She goes, I can't think straight. She said,
because she's a target, maybe individual.
It literally starts to give me a headache.
Radiation implants, maybe not.
And I said, what? She's not insulting at all.
No.
Can you see his hands? Why would you name a channel? It's with 333. It's a sign of Freemasonry. I did mention that in the chat. Because they had an open StreamYard forum to join, which I did. But they didn't take on, especially him, the fact of the future of the technology bringing to us.
No. And she didn't mean it like she don't want to hear it.
Yeah, and she said,
his hands, I noticed on his thumb.
She goes, I just can't explain it. She said, but it's been getting worse over this last 2 years.
Not so much her, but it's the partner husband.
And I said, well, you need to explain that. And she said, I just can't. I just can't.
Oh.
And she said, it just hurts my head. So maybe that's why I can't, relay this to somebody that's actually, I don't even know what you want to call them.
I don't know what you want to call it either.
Well, it's incredible because as a physicist, she may be interested, everybody might be interested to know that in the mathematics and in all of the construction of Serpent Mound, there are the coordinates to the star system Draco.
The Indian, ancient Indian.
And the people, the Dogon people of eastern Tanzania, whose children oftentimes come out white with blonde hair and blue eyes, they also know about the star system Draco, which is something that is a modern discovery. The fact that Serpent Mound has the coordinates to the star system Draco would indicate that that in ancient times, that the builders of a lot of these monuments, because mounds is just such an insult to the intelligence and the construction of these objects, these sites of worship, if not straight up star charts. Mm-hmm. That is some of the most interesting knowledge, and only a few of us are even aware of the fact that when we go to these places, we're actually allowing ourselves to touch the stars.
Yeah. And Josh actually had a recent revelation about the S in the snake of Serpent Mound.
I have a theory on that because I don't tell us. I mean, I buy what they tell us to a point.
Right. I mean, about his hand and his thumb.
Because it can be proven as far as what they say, as far as celestial.
Right, it's to the double sign. Can you notice that? Not zooming anymore. Talking about spirituality. You could say. He seems genuine. I can't make her out much, it's mainly him.
Rounder things. But it only takes into consideration.
And now it goes again. Watch that thing now. He's not shape-shifting, he seems to be a bit... Of course I can't see his body language.
A few of the coils of the serpent, it doesn't take into consideration any others. Like there's only like 4 of the points that are actually used. And so my theory on it is that there's a certain point in the constellations when they move into a certain point where all of them there'll be certain stars in every one of those coils.
In the coils of Serpent Mound.
And I think Serpent Mound is more of a warning sign. Like it was a device used as a warning. When these things started filling up, then you were getting closer to whatever the event was, whatever they called it at the time.
Yeah.
Because I believe that there was a time, because
it could be just the eyes and our hands. What do you reckon?
We can't look at things like our perception that we have now in time,
right?
And the way life is now.
Why not? It's brain interface technology doing it. People are slowly waking up that we are not off the... Certain things are hidden from mankind. It's demonic, isn't it?
Now, because we didn't live there, so it was a different era, a different time, a different way of thinking. I think there was a time where we weren't as ego.
He doesn't give... When people get invited onto their stream, doesn't give you leeway to talk, but I did get hacked.
Driven, and there was a time of our people who would have been smart enough and diligent enough to give warning signs and give markers and things that would give us signs and symbols, not just in the sky, but just other things to let us know that these things are coming to pass. These things will come through. You know, like the Egyptian hieroglyphs and stuff. I think there's more to those hieroglyphs, and as far as the things of what's to come and how the patterns of things work. I think there's a lot of that hidden in that stuff.
Anyway, you want to go and check out the channel? That's the channel name.